Next is item number 9, an application for a certificate of appropriateness at 201 Lafayette Street in the Soho Cast Iron Historic District Extension, docket number 15-9066, block 482, lot 7501 in Manhattan. A neoclassical style building designed by Kimball and Thompson and built in 1897 to 98, and the application is to install a mechanical duct.
Good morning, Victor Demonic, Preservation staff. 201 Lafayette Street is a through block building in the Soho Cast Iron Extension District. It's bounded by Lafayette Street, Kenmar Street, and Cleveland Place. The application is to install a duct on the Cleveland Place facade, which will exit through the existing storefront transom, run up the facade, and terminate at the roof. It will be finished to match the brickwork and the storefront, and it will avoid the brick detailing. Here is an image of the existing condition, and then here is a photo montage, and you can see the existing ducts on the facade. And architects are here for the detail.
Thank you. My name is Ryan Hardy. I'm a business owner, chef and partner at a restaurant called Charlie Bird in Soho. I'm here to introduce the team to talk further about the project. Sean Watts, partner and architect at Leroy Street Studios, Jenna Miller, associate at Leroy Street Studios, and Austin Public Cover with Bullet Restaurant Compliance, speaking on our behalf for this project. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Sean Watts from Leroy Street Studio. As Victor and Ryan mentioned, in place of the existing nightclub, Ryan and his partners want to create a pizza restaurant similar to Charlie Bird, and that embraces the character of the renovated
Okay.
This time at Peppercino Square, they want to embrace the vibrant street life of the renovated square with the new restaurant, and also maintain the qualities of the cast iron historic district. The existing building at 201 Lafayette space is right here, 2-block space, right behind the La Esquina restaurant. This is the existing nightclub layout, which shows the Cleveland Place facade and the Lafayette Street facade. And this is the new restaurant layout. They want to group all mechanical services along the back wall. The space requires a pizza oven and a hot line from a downstairs kitchen. And there's there's an existing shaft in the building that we had inspected by our mechanical engineer. There's only room for the pizza duct in that shaft. It's a round duct, which means we have to find a place for the hot line. And currently on the Cleveland Place facade, there's no courtyard in the building, so the Cleveland Place facade is been serving as the facade. And there are currently 3 existing ducts running up the back of the building that were put in before the area was designated. And we are proposing to minimize visual impact by grouping with those ducts. This is a slightly distorted version of the Lafayette Street facades in each of the restaurant. The rear facade is brick as opposed to the cast iron, stone, and glass. And this is the space for the duct. We did work with LBC staff to explore a site at the roof of La Esquina, but the duct crossing over this way seemed to be more, have a greater visual impact. Here you can see the 3 existing ducts have been clad in metal diamond pattern, sheet metal and painted to match the brick. And we're proposing to, this is just existing conduits, which we should need to change. And this is sort of before and after, as you pointed out, 3 ducts running up between the shaftway windows and then the new duct running up out of the
And is the treatment of the duct exactly the same as the treatment of the other ducts?
No, these ducts aren't compliant because I think the ducts need to be accessed, and this has a sheet metal covering that
Okay.
would not allow that.
That is correct. We need, my name's Austin Publicover. I run Bulletproof Restaurant Compliance, Fire Code, Health Code Compliance. For Fire Code, there needs to be an access panel every 10 feet on the vertical riser. This actually just has one at the very bottom in the cladding. Ours would be compliant up to 2008 Fire Code. The existing ducts are not compliant and as such present a mild hazard to the building.
Yes,
But
go ahead,
yours
go.
is clad in the same
Correct.
material, so,
Cloud and accessibleness.
and accessible.
So, so you can see here the existing storefront, which we would propose to, and I'll show you a detail of this, run the duct through the window and up the brick at the brick joint here between the two phases of the building. And
symmetrical around that.
It seems like that.
so that's the before and after elevation. So 3 ducts and the proposed duct, which has to go up to the roof. And I'll explain in the second house step how we're going to protect the existing points. This is all meant to be, of course, removable and low impact with regard to the facade. At the top of the parapet wall, it will cross over to get between the water tower and the existing elevator bulkhead.
Am I imagining it, or is it actually narrower than the other 3 ducts?
So these ducts are 36 inches wide.
Yeah.
We require a duct that's 12 by 24, and we could potentially narrow that to 10 by 30 to resemble the proportions. We could make it bigger, but we thought keep it
No, I'm just
similar.
asking the question. It's as, keep it as small
Yeah,
as
exactly.
possible.
So it's similar proportion.
And what about in depth? Is the depth the same as the others or less?
Depth is a little deeper. Again, we have a choice between 10 by 30 or 12 by 24. Both of those ducts will serve our mechanical purposes.
But it's,
just painted, it's just metal,
Painted metal.
as opposed to clad in any kind of texture.
It's not stamped metal, correct.
so the others are also stamped metal?
They are standard,
Yeah,
yes.
Mhm.
It's yeah, it's
They
basically ceiling
look
tin.
good, okay.
So this is the elevation from Cleveland Place. You can see La Esquina down at the bottom. This stuff will be tucked behind the fire escape and will be invisible from most points of the square. No change at all from the Lafayette Street side. These are the details showing the window penetration. The storefront itself is not historic, but we would do our best to match the existing character. And we worked with LPC staff to come up with a scheme for low impact, low torque anchors as brick joints as required, and especially to pull the duct off of brick as we go up the buildings to leave clear space between the existing brick cornice elements, and particularly concerned about insulation, so adding some rubber padding at the back of the ducts to minimize any potential damage during installation.
Do you have to provide a duct? Is that a building code issue to exhaust the restaurant?
Correct.
So you
For
have to do
functional
that?
restaurant, We have to put in a duct
Okay.
this size, and the pizza oven duct, fortunately, the pizza oven duct fits inside the existing shaftway,
Okay.
inside the building. It would obviously be the less expensive, easier option for us. And this is just a quick glimpse of the roof showing the skylights, water towers, existing stair and elevator bulkheads, and we're coming up right there.
Okay.
And you can see it though from everywhere, right? You can see it from.
You can see it
in
from.
Henry,
you can
from-
see it
Well, it's
from
on the
Cleveland Place,
street.
certainly. From,
Can you see
can't
it from
the
Broome
square
Street?
proper, but you can see it from the Cleveland Place. On the east side, you're gonna, it's sort of part of the Emilio ducts and fire escapes. From Broome Street, from this corner, you would also see it.
Are those La Esquina ducts, those 3?
Those are the ducts that are currently serving the Brinkley space, but I don't think Brinkley's they've been.
And so what services La Esquina?
Esquina has a significant amount of equipment on
Yeah,
top
you
of
can
their
see,
roof.
this is La Esquina.
So they
They
don't
just punch
need-
right through the roof, and there are a couple of condensers here that cool the space that we're looking at, and with the condo running across, which we will need to modify.
So this is actually, I mean, it's a somewhat unusual situation where you have a building that has 2 facades. It's a through lot, or maybe even all 4 sides, and every side is visible. I think in other situations, you have a rear yard where you could put, the duct, but here you have really no option except to put it on Lafayette, right? Right, okay. Any other questions? All right, are there speakers on this item? Any speakers? Okay, Community Board 2 recommends denial of the addition of the fourth unsightly stack on the side of the building, but they approve the enclosure of the conduit. Okay. I don't
that
know
was a what?
exactly.
That was a separate item, a conduit?
I don't know, is that a separate item that's being proposed, a conduit? Okay.
Oh, current conduits or something.
Yeah, we're not proposing to change the conduit.
Okay.
The
All right.
air conditioning system turns out to be functional, so.
All right, so community boards actually, they're not supporting this. That's clear. I think that, well, why don't we, do we have any more questions for the applicant? Otherwise, we can close the hearing. All right, we can close the hearing. I think I've already expressed the unfortunate situation of finding a facade where you have to have this vent. I think the choice of having it on Cleveland Place seems reasonable, given that's where you have the existing 3 vents, and Lafayette is the main entrance. I think they've tried to cover the vent and treat it in a way which is the least obtrusive to this building and the facade. Yes?
Yeah, I think this is unfortunate, but I'm not sure that there's a better solution.
Right.
I mean, in a certain kind of pure sense, this is an inappropriate addition to this building, I say. But again, unless we're going to completely suggest that this building could never have a restaurant in the base, I think we're sort of confronted with this problem. Maybe there are not so many buildings like this around the city to get too worried about, because mostly they're courtyards or side lot line walls where these sorts of things are done reasonably frequently. But when they have to be done on the facade of an existing building, I think it's a pretty scary thing. And who knows what future laws and technologies will be requiring more and better vents and more ducts going up on the side of historic buildings, which completely change their character. So I don't think there's any way of, or should we prohibit this, but it is a kind of a frightening precedent, I think.
Well, it is a question that I think this, the commission is going to face over time, which is with new technologies and new requirements, how do you incorporate that into buildings that are in historic districts or designated landmarks? And I think, in my opinion, I feel that it's important for the commission to be able to incorporate better standards into our buildings in a way where it still meets the preservation needs. So we may find that over time, our standards may have to shift in order to just incorporate better technology. Yes?
Yeah, I think going along with what both of you have said, that I would not want to preclude the use here, and I think that based on the fact that it's a non-primary facade, that there is existing ductwork already and that is reversible, that although it is undesirable to have it, I am prepared to approve it in this particular instance. I think it should be on every building, but, it's already, there's several ducts.
Right, exactly. Okay, yes.
But the thing is, this ductwork has been required by New York City Building Code for, I don't know which number of decades, at least since 1968, and I'm guessing well before that. So actually, you do see these kinds of ducts running up along most of the time, the sides of buildings, but especially in industrial neighborhoods, is extremely common. So to say it's not characteristic of the district isn't actually the case. It is characteristic. Maybe it's less desirable to have it on a front facade, but it is certainly characteristic. But one of the things in terms of how they're cladding this, if I've got it right, it's just a sheet metal painted. And I think one of the reasons that the other ones don't look as bad as they might is because there's some kind of a texture on it, right? And by not trying to use a sheet metal cladding. I understand the access panel requirements, but by not trying to use a cladding that's got texture, I think it'll actually stand out more because the brick has texture. So I would really recommend that they look at a material that's got some kind of texture, even if it's only, I don't know, faux or something painted, just to give it a little difference.
So it's some kind of, because I think the other docks are metal sheeting, it's sort of embossed or in some form. So I think they can work with staff to try and get something which has more texture as opposed to something, because you're concerned that it's going to be flat and it's just going to read as something flat.
But I also understood, or maybe incorrectly, that they were matching the other.
That's what I thought they were, doing. was trying-
Matching the location and.
Oh, no. Okay, then they should match.
It should be
They
close,
should match
as close
in
as
the text.
possible.
I think they
to
can
existing
do that.
whatnot, you know.
It just means choosing another metal finish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Fred, do you want to read the resolution? Thank you.
In the matter of 201 Lafayette Street, in the Soho Cast Iron Historic District Extension, Block 282, Lot 7501. The application is to install a mechanical duct. I recommend approval, noting that the installation of the proposed exhaust duct will not result in damage or demolition of any significant architectural features of the storefront, facade, or roof of the building. That the proposed exhaust duct will be installed with fasteners into existing mortar joints and bend to avoid the existing corbelled brick details. That the proposed exhaust duct will be installed on the less prominent facade of this through-block building on what was historically the service side of the building. That the proposed duct exhaust duct will be seen in context with existing ducts, thereby minimizing the visual impact of this installation. That the proposed finish of the duct will match the color of the surrounding brick along its vertical run and the storefront along its horizontal run, which will help the duct to blend with the background and not call undue attention to itself. That the proposed duct will exit the storefront through the transom closet to its vertical run up the facade, minimizing the amount of the storefront that is obscured, and that the proposed installation will not detract from the special architectural or historic character of the Soho Cast Iron Historic District, and that the applicant will work with staff to affect a texture on the sheet metal that approximates the visual look of the 3 existing ducts.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And this application's